I'm here this afternoon with me, great women, men politicians, and they are ready to take Nigeria to the highest level.
That's right.
Come 2023. And we have an expert, policy expert, a lawyer in the house. Vanguard, in commemoration of the UN Women, we are going to be talking and discussing about the policy intervention and the rule of law to link with gender-based violence. So, and I have a great woman, a woman politician from Katsina. She'll be joining us all the way from Katsina this afternoon. So this afternoon we have Tombra Mohammed, all the way from Bayelsa. And Princess, by my left side here, Princess Oyefuse, yes, great politician and the deputy governorship candidate,
Yes.
of
Labour
Party.
Lagos State.
Yeah, Lagos State. And I have with me too the lawyer, policy expert, Barrister Efe Adoge.
Yes, please.
And I hope you are ready for us this afternoon.
Of Warren
So
Rose
let's
Foundation.
Warren
Rose Foundation.
So I want to start with
This natural candidate for
Bayelsa
West
Senatorial
District. Bayelsa West Senatorial District under the Young Progressive Party.
Nigeria. So I will start with Efe. So talking about the policy interventions, I want you to just enlighten us. Who are the particular policies guiding domestic and sexual violence in Nigeria?
Okay, we have a number of them. Sometime in 2015, before former President Jonathan Goodluck stepped down, he had signed into law the VAP Act. And but I must say that Lagos State has been championing it for years. Lagos State has always been at the forefront when it comes to gender-based violence. And this started way back during the time of Tinubu when he was governor. I believe in calling a spade a spade. For that area, he did amazingly well for women. I must say that, because gender-based violence is something that's very prevalent in the society. Unfortunately, a lot of these policies, when it comes to implementation, have had challenges. We live in a patriarchal society, and so we're influenced by our culture, by our beliefs, by our religion, and it is deeply entrenched in every aspect of our lives. I believe that is really what has affected the laws and policies in the area of domestic abuse. If not, we do have some of these laws, but implementation is a major challenge. We are still soliciting to see how effective these laws are. And that is why we as CSOs, we have been clamoring for inclusion in, throwing more light, especially those of us that are the grassroots, where we are able to come one-on-one with a lot of these issues. I must say this, Nigeria has one of the highest rates of domestic abuse in the world. And like I said, this is tied to deeply entrenched in, what we believe, our culture. And that in itself is a challenge. Policy is made by lawmakers, and we're referring to the National Assembly.
So where are we now? Where are we concerning the policy?
Well, we have started something, but we are not there yet. We are very far from being there. Many of the laws, especially even in Lagos State, when it comes to implementation, like I said, we've had challenges. The police are being trained and retrained in several areas, but beyond that, you still get to the police station and hear words like domestic abuse is a family affair. You should not be having such conversations at the police station. Go back home to your family and go and solve the issue. Even though domestic violence has been criminalized, it has not. It's like everyone is walking like we have our heads buried inside, like the ostrich. We see what is happening, but taking the bull by the horn, we need what I call the political will to be able to carry out this thing. The rules are there, the laws are there. Implementation, if I'm going to give score Nigeria, even Lagos State on implementation, I would say for Nigeria as a whole, we should probably fall between 1 or 2 over 10. For Lagos State, maybe you shift a bit, 3 or 4. Because Lagos State, well, we say a lot about what's going on, and yes, Lagos State is trying, but are we there? No, we're not there. There's still so much to do. And if you do not carry the civil society along, especially those of us at the grassroots who actually deal with the people directly, you really can't know what is going on as a lawmaker.
Thank you so much. You said political will. And here we have a good politician in the house, Tombra Mohammed. What have you been doing in Bayelsa to alleviate all this gender-based violence?
Thank you for having me here today. Like I said earlier, I'm a candidate under the Young Progressive Party, contesting for this senatorial seat. So I'm actually heading towards the lawmaking zone for the first time. What have I been doing? Personally, I was explaining to some of my colleagues here that I was brought up in a family where there was no distinction between a male and a female. So I really didn't grow up thinking that a male was superior or had better ideas than I had. That's the kind of family I grew up from. My father, when you talk about the police, my father was a policeman and one of those disciplined ones, so there was no distinction. And so all through my life, I strive towards trying to make women understand that they have what it takes to survive, to strive in anything they are doing. Because if the idea of you being either inferior or not capable is in you, it is difficult for some other persons to insert that into you. Because like she said, it's cultural, could be religious and all that. But personally, for anybody, any woman who knows me, who has come in contact with me, knows that I try to let people understand who they are first before the gender. When the gender aspect is put in the foreway, it makes it difficult for your true person to come out. So I have personally not looked in much on this gender discrimination, because I've always stood for myself at any point, anytime, any day. And so people around me, that's what I try to impact in them, so that you don't get easily influenced. Now, what are the things we need to do? It's just simply equity. There definitely should not be a difference between a man and a woman. It doesn't mean that you cannot have a man assist you here and there, but there should be no difference, because we are made by one God differently, though in sex, but not in physically. Because women can actually even be violent anyway. Yes.
Definitely.
So I believe that is when you talk about, there are so many laws. Okay, look at the recent one that they tried passing both in the lower house and the Senate. Nobody, it was not even 7% or so, less than 7% of both houses supported all the bills that were introduced, from the bill of being able to belong to the state your husband is from, to marrying your non-Nigerian and being a part of you, to even elective posts, even nominated posts. It was totally taken out.
Yeah.
So
You
as you want to go for senatorial
Yes.
seats, so what are your plans? What are you going to do different for the protection of the vulnerable?
Exactly. That's what I've been doing. I've been on the campaign, introductory rallies and campaign since May after my primaries. And my concentration actually is in the women. Like in my state, Bayelsa, when I was growing up, the women are actually the homekeepers, both financially and otherwise. But because of politics, they were kind of pulled out. Bayelsa was a new state, so women were pulled out for all these rallies, and so they began to see themselves as just objects that should be used for rallies and stuff like that. So what I am bringing into the table that they have been able to recognize is that if a woman like us is coming in, literally going to the trench, the face is changing, I tell you, even those who were not interested from the age of 18 to very old women in the villages, there is the hope, meaning that a woman can. In fact, the slogan is that a woman can do better. So my presence alone is making a difference. And I'm not going there like I'm a woman, so of course I play the card because it's advantageous to me right now. But then that is not what I presented.
So you are ensuring the women in your area of influence
that definitely
to reduce gender-based violence.
Of course, because gender-based violence is common in every facet of society, from the rich to the poor. It's just that those on top, they don't talk about it. It's hidden. You'll be shocked to know how many high-up homes have those serious violence, which of course reflects on their children. So it's not even those at home. But like I said, if you bring up your child from when they are small, knowing who they are, then violence will be greatly reduced. Because the political will to enact these laws is slow, especially in the African continent, because of
you are going to that seat of power.
I am that seat of power. That is a problem.
Influence the policy.
That is the thing. I'm going for this senatorial seat. What is the house meant for? Simple. That office is where you go and lobby, negotiate, agree, decide before you go to the public. And so, if you know what is taking you there, me as a woman, representing the women group, what are our priorities? We need to be safe in our homes. We need to be productive, because without a woman in the house, it's difficult for even the children to function. And so, those are my priorities.
I will hold you on. Let me come to the Princess Oyefuse.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are going for deputy governor under the Labour Party. And as you know, that Lagos State has been on the forefront of female participation in government traditionally. If you are deputy governor, how will you help to translate this actual influence in the way the average woman is treated in the home and workplace?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Lagos, Nigeria. I think this is a very, very important topic. I'm a very strong women advocate. I actually studied law, and I've always advocated for women's rights, women's participation in politics, and a drive to implement laws that protect women.
Exactly.
Implement laws that give women equal opportunity and a platform to compete on a level playing ground.
Exactly.
And platform, an empowerment platform to bring them to the forefront. Because if you look at Nigeria, it's very sad that the girl child, don't have anything to look forward to. We've never had a president, 60 something years of independence. We've never had an elected governorship candidate, female. We've never had CBN governor that is that is female. It's all these things. You look at it and you say, and there are policies. There is the criminal code. There's the penal code. There's Mobutu Protocol of 2005, which actually give us 5 things that women should be, that nations, you African Union, African nations should be driving to achieve. And 39 or 40 of these African nations signed up to this protocol. And we have problem. People, when you talk about domestic violence, people think it's just merely punching you or beating you. Psychological isolation of women in the home, psychological abuse of women in the home. Those are all domestic violence laws. Those are all the things that we need to educate our women on their right. And I always say to this NGO, the best people that are liaising direct with the grassroots are the NGOs. We must empower these NGOs to create a leaflet that
Are you telling the world, Nigerian people, that if you are elected as the deputy governor, no, we have so many women,
Yes.
and they are not really doing it, in quotes. Some people say they are not doing much, but give them the opportunity. They are not doing it. If you are given the opportunity as the deputy governor,
the first thing I'm going to make my governor do,
you are going to make the governor do
35% is in our manifesto. That 35%, Lagos State, a 22 million plus population counting, the most elite state of Nigeria, cannot sign a law that allows 35% proportional representation. The likes of Kaduna or one of us sign that thing into law. Lagos State does not sign it into law. You have to give women their right. 35% proportional representation at every level. That is the first thing we're going to sign into law. Number 2 is that there's going to be
we're
women.
not forgetting that it's going to go to the
Assembly.
The assembly.
Yes.
So
Yes. That is in our manifesto. That's what we're selling. So the assembly already know what our agenda is. So when they vote us in, they know that we have to deliver on this agenda. So it's very easy to sign in. It's not something, it's a United Nations requirement. It's not something that we came up with. For example, in Rwanda, women make 45% of that parliament. Even Zimbabwe.
South Africa.
So what is wrong with us in Nigeria? That our women are educated. They are enlightened that we cannot empower them. But I see if you take domestic violence issue, I'm a strong advocate for prevention of domestic violence in the home. We have to educate our girl child. We have to take that law and break it down into a layman's language that they can understand. And I'm challenging the NGO sitting down here. You have to put it in a leaflet, in layman's language, in every language spoken in Nigeria, and distribute it to the home. Then they know their rights. You take an average woman, for example, they're going through divorce court. Did you know it is your right to equal thing as your husband? It's in the law. You get equal, but some women say, "Not it, I miss it out. They sent me back and let me go." All sorts of things, and they go back. It's wrong. So if we don't educate our systems and our processes,